Hello, kids. Today we have a dolphin and we have a great story about the dolphin. So let's solve the puzzle and also listen to the dolphin story. Let's start.
In the shimmering depths of the sapphire sea, where the waves danced with the rhythm of the wind, there lived a joyful dolphin named Dolly. She was known across the watery realms for her graceful flips and her heart as pure as the coral sands. Dolly spent her days racing with the currents and playing hide and seek among the waves with her fish friends. One serene morning, as the sun painted the sea's surface with hues of gold and amber, Dolly's curiosity was piqued by a peculiar glimmer near the forbidden reef. She yearned for adventure, for something more than just the routine leaps and dives. Her heart ached for a mystery, for something that would add a splash of excitement to her tranquil world. Driven by her desire, Dolly ventured towards the enigmatic light. As she approached, the once familiar waters became strange and uncharted. Fear tickled her fins, but the thrill of discovery propelled her forward. She found herself at the entrance of a sunken ship, its mast tangled in seaweed and its cannons silent sentinels of the deep. Dolly, with courage as vast as the ocean, swam through the creaking wooden corridors of the ship. She discovered a treasure chest, its wood swollen from time under the sea, encrusted with barnacles. Inside, she found trinkets and baubles that shimmered like the surface of the water on a sunny day. Dolly's heart leapt. She had found the adventure she sought, along with treasures untold. But her triumph was short-lived, for the ship began to collapse under the weight of time. The water stirred into a whirlpool of danger, and Dolly found herself trapped. Panic surged through her as she pushed against the closing walls. Her friends, sensing her distress, rushed to the ship. Together, they worked in harmony with the sea, pushing and pulling until Dolly was free. Back in the safety of her home waters, Dolly shared her treasures with her friends. She realized that the true gems were not the sparkling stones or golden coins, but the bonds of friendship and the memories they created together. The sapphire sea sang with tales of Dolly's bravery, and she knew that while her journey had ended, the stories of her courage would ripple through the waves forever. As the moon rose and cast a silvery glow over the sea, Dolly swam with a new sense of purpose. The adventure had changed her. She was no longer just a playful dolphin, but a storyteller, a keeper of the sea's secrets. With a joyful flick of her tail, she joined her friends under the starlit sky, ready for the next day's adventures. Emboldened by her experiences and the wisdom gleaned from the deep, Dolly could not ignore the call of the uncharted waters that lay beyond her familiar shores. The reef had become a place not just of comfort, but of inspiration, a starting point for the new tales that beckoned to her from the heart of the sapphire sea. After her harrowing adventure and the discovery of sunken treasures, Dolly the dolphin had become a beacon of inspiration in the sapphire sea. Her tale of bravery and the importance of friendship echoed through the currents, inspiring her marine companions to dream bigger and swim further. Yet the ocean's depths held more stories, and Dolly's spirit of adventure remained as untamed as the tides. The sapphire sea, ever vast and mysterious, whispered of unexplored realms to Dolly. Each morning brought new wonders: the ballet of the manta rays, the symphony of the whales, and the quiet, intricate dances of the sea anemones. The sea was alive with stories, each creature contributing a verse to its grand narrative. Dolly's heart, now seasoned by peril and emboldened by survival, yearned to delve deeper, beyond the shimmering surface and the sunlit waters of her home. There were ancient wrecks and deep-sea vents, glittering caves and fathomless trenches that called to her. With each story she heard, her resolve grew. She would be the dolphin who bridged worlds, who brought back tales from the abyss to share with her friends in the warm shallows of the sapphire sea. One day, as the sun cast its golden net over the water, Dolly encountered an old sea turtle, one that carried the map of countless years on his shell. He spoke of a place where the sea turned from sapphire to indigo, a trench so deep that it was said to hold the secrets of the sea's very birth. The turtle had never ventured there himself. It was a journey for the bold, he said, and he saw that boldness in Dolly's eyes. With a flip of her tail, Dolly thanked the wise turtle and set off towards the horizon. She traveled for days, riding the currents, diving through schools of fish that sparkled like constellations against the darkening blue. She encountered the guardians of the deep, the great white sharks whose eyes held the stories of millennia, and the playful squids whose ink painted trails of mystery in the water. As she reached the edge of the trench, the sea stars illuminated her path, their glow a welcome in the enveloping darkness. Dolly descended, her body slicing through the water with precision and grace. Down, down she went, where the pressure of the water weighed like the stories of all the seas upon her back. Here, in the silence of the deep, Dolly found wonders that few eyes had ever seen, bioluminescent creatures that shone like underwater stars, strange fish with translucent skins, and the slow dance of the jellyfish that seemed to hold the secrets of the deep in their gentle drift. But the trench held dangers too. Narrow escapes from the jaws of deep-sea predators, swift currents that threatened to sweep her away, and the ever-present risk of the unknown. Yet, Dolly's courage did not waver. She was driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desire to bring back new stories to her aquatic kin. When at last she returned to the familiar waters of the sapphire sea, Dolly was changed once more. Her eyes held a depth like the trench she had explored, her voice a new timbre that resonated with the wisdom of the deep. The sea creatures gathered, their eyes wide with wonder, as Dolly recounted her journey into the heart of the ocean. Her stories of the trench became the new legends of the sapphire sea, tales of awe that inspired bravery and respect for the vast world beneath the waves. Dolly had become more than a storyteller. She was a testament to the spirit of discovery, a reminder that the ocean's depths are boundless and that every current has a story to tell. As the stars twinkled above the gentle swells of the sea, Dolly understood that her adventures would never truly end. Each wave was a call to the unknown, and with her heart as her compass, she would always answer.
And right now we have a star. Great. So let's solve the star puzzle and listen to the star story. Let's go.
In the serene world of the glimmering reef, Stella, the sea star, was a beacon of cheerfulness. With her vibrant yellow body dotted with playful spots, she was the gem of the seabed. Stella's days were simple and merry as she soaked up the sun's rays through the crystal-clear waters and played tag with the passing schools of fish. Yet, in the quiet of the night, when the reef settled into a hushed lull, Stella's heart yearned for adventure. Beyond the reef, the ocean was a vast expanse of mystery and wonder, filled with tales of swirling whirlpools, majestic sea creatures, and treasures hidden in the abyss. Stella's imagination swirled with these stories, her desire to explore growing with each passing current. She dreamed of discovering the secrets the ocean held, of witnessing the marvels that lay just beyond her star-shaped reach. One fateful morning, Stella decided to chase her dreams. With a flutter of her arms, she set off into the unknown. The familiar coral structures gave way to open water, and the sunlight wove through the depths, casting patterns of light and shadow. Stella ventured further than she ever had, her excitement mounting with each new sight. She encountered creatures of all shapes and sizes, some that danced gracefully with the currents, and others that shyly peeked from behind the rocks. The deeper Stella traveled, the more wonders she found. She marveled at the dance of the jellyfish, their luminescent bodies pulsing in the dark waters, and watched in awe as a parade of giant turtles glided past, their ancient eyes holding stories of the sea. She discovered gardens of anemones waving their colorful tentacles and schools of fish that glittered like living jewels. The ocean was a canvas of life, each creature a brushstroke of nature's grand design. However, adventure comes with its perils. Stella's exploration led her into the path of a fisherman's net. Caught in its tight weave, she was drawn upwards towards the glaring sun and the world of air. Panic gripped her, but amidst the fear, a wave of determination surged through her. Twisting and turning, she managed to slip through the net's grasp, her body free-falling back to the safety of the ocean's embrace. Stella returned to the glimmering reef, her journey an odyssey that had transformed her. She had sought adventure, and in turn, adventure had revealed to her the boundless heart of the sea. She had faced dangers and had come back with stories etched into her being. The other sea creatures gathered around, eager to hear her tales. Stella spoke of the beauty and the vastness, the darkness and the light of the deep sea, her voice a soft melody that whispered of places far and wide. The sea star, once just a part of the reef's fabric, had become its storyteller, its dreamer. And as the moon cast its silver glow upon the waters, Stella realized that her greatest discovery wasn't the places she had seen, but the journey that had unfolded within her. She understood that every ripple in the water, every grain of sand, every ray of light was a part of a larger story, the story of the ocean, now her story too. Stella's adventure in the vast ocean had become a cherished legend among the inhabitants of Glimmering Reef. Her daring escape from the fisherman's net had not only brought her back to the comforting sands of home, but had also ignited a spark of curiosity in her fellow sea creatures. They hung on every word as Stella recounted her journey, her descriptions painting vivid images in their minds. In the days that followed, Stella's story inspired her friends to seek their own adventures, but they always returned to the reef, eager for the safety and camaraderie it offered. The reef was abuzz with excitement, each creature emboldened by Stella's courage, dreaming of their own explorations. Stella, meanwhile, found that her escapade had changed her in ways she hadn't anticipated. Where once the borders of Glimmering Reef had been the edges of her universe, she now saw them as a beginning, not an end. The reef was her home, yes, but the ocean was her calling. Each sunrise brought a new possibility, and with each tide, she felt the pull of the unknown. The ocean, vast and mysterious, whispered to her of undiscovered places, of currents that traveled to the ends of the earth, and of the deep where light dared not venture. Stella was enchanted by these tales, and she knew deep within her stars that her adventures were far from over. As the moonlight danced on the water's surface night after night, Stella would climb to the highest peak of the reef, looking out into the expansive sea. She imagined the creatures that roamed in the depths, the shipwrecks that lay silent and still, holding stories of old within their decayed hulls and the dance of the seaweed in the underwater meadows. Then came the day when a gentle giant, a whale named Winston, passed by Glimmering Reef. Winston spoke of distant waters, of icebergs that sparkled like diamonds under the polar night, and of creatures that played in the icy floes. His stories rekindled the flame of adventure in Stella's heart. With a resolve as strong as the currents, Stella bid farewell to her reef family once more. She joined Winston on his journey, traveling further than she ever had. Together, they explored the frozen wonderlands of the poles, where the water sang with the calls of the whales and the ice created a world of serene beauty. Stella learned of the delicate balance of these cold waters, of the creatures that depended on the ice for survival, and of the stars that shone brightly in the clear night skies. She danced with the penguins who slid on their bellies with sheer delight and watched in silent reverence as the auroras painted the sky with colors no coral could replicate. As seasons changed and Winston needed to move on, Stella understood that it was time to return to Glimmering Reef once again. She thanked Winston for the wonders he had shown her, and with a heart full of new tales, she rode the currents back to her home. Stella's return was celebrated throughout the reef. She had become more than a storyteller. She was a bridge between worlds, a sea star whose spirit was as deep and fathomless as the ocean itself. She shared tales of the polar night, of the creatures that thrived in the cold, and of the skies that told stories of their own. Her friends listened, their eyes wide with amazement. They realized that Stella's adventures were more than just journeys. They were a testament to the interconnectedness of all life, a reminder that every creature, from the smallest plankton to the mightiest whale, played a part in the ocean's symphony. Stella's adventures had taught her that every moment was a story waiting to be lived, and every story was a life that intertwined with others in the vast tapestry of the sea. And so, under the starlit sky, Stella's voice mingled with the chorus of the ocean, her tales a melody in the grand song of the deep.
Thank you, kids. Bye. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.